All right, we'll do lying quadricep, lying stuck in the mud, chest opener, child's pose, down dog to seated, pigeon. What else? Seated hamstring, legs up the wall. That'll be it. Okay, cool. So on our start, do I? Oh, no. So professional, so professional. I've been doing it for a little bit, just like, stretching. I love to stretch. Yeah. Okay, is it on? Yeah. All right, party people, glasses girl, and Rick here to teach you some stretching. We're gonna get started on our stomach, please. Okay, just kind of we're gonna be utilizing the space, so we're gonna be rolling around a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and first start with a quadricep stretch. So laying on our stomach, you're gonna go ahead and take your right hand and your right foot, and then you're gonna put your right cheek on the ground. So a nice deep stretch. You can take that left hand out to the side, so you have a nice deep stretch here. Good, and so you're driving your hand in to your foot and your foot into your hand, kind of starting to lengthen out throughout the front of that hip flexor, in throughout the quad. Heel should be nice and close to the glute at this point, and you can take a different angle. So just go ahead and take that foot and bring it out to the side a little bit, just a little different angle of our quad stretch. Out to the outside of the glute, and then go ahead and take it onto the inside. You're going to trade hands. Left hand goes on, and you'll just open up the right hand over. Good, and enjoy that little chest stretch there. Left cheek down to the ground. Good, you should be able to feel that in your hip flexor a bit more. Rick, how's it feeling? Yeah, pretty good. Yes, kicking back in your hand. That's the kicker there. Yay. All right, team, we'll go ahead and release that and switch it out. So other hand, so left hand, left foot, left cheek to the ground. Great. That's the one thing I'm not great at, is directions. Or knowing my rights from lefts. I don't know them. Good. Take your hand into your foot in your hand. Find some length throughout that quad. Again, let's go ahead and take that foot out to the outside edge of the outer glute. That's what I need to say, just body parts, not directions. And then we'll go ahead and switch hands. Switch your cheek down, open up, left hand wide, and drive that knee out to the side a little bit, still pulling that heel into the glute. Good work. Excellent, team. So we're starting with those quads. We're going to move into some upper body stretches next. So go ahead and release that, and we'll get through a stuck in the mud. So we'll hug our right arm in like you're about to do a push-up. You're going to push your hips away, open up that right foot back and behind like tree pose. Keep your head on the ground if you can. You should feel a nice deep stretch in the lats, in throughout your chest, throughout your shoulders. Good, and I like to take a few deep breaths here. So, each exhale, you're kind of deepening that stretch, focusing in on finding some length there. And let's go ahead and switch it out. Feel free to stay there as long as you guys would like. If you'd like to pause it, you're welcome to, enjoy some time. But I just want to take you through a few different stretches here. Good, so we're getting through the same thing on the other side. Again, my foot is open up like tree pose here, a little bonus hip opener. You might have a pretty tight lower back, so maybe that's not happening for you today. In that case, you're just going to keep your feet stacked, and that's just fine. We don't want to feel any tension in that low back. We're really just focusing on opening up throughout the chest and shoulders. So maybe one or two more deep breaths there. And then we'll just come on down back to our starting position. We'll go big toes to touch, knees go nice and wide, come into child's pose. Shift your hips back towards your heels, reach your hands out in front of you, pack your lats down and back to feel that more in your posterior chain. We'll start to kind of decompress that lower back. And I like to also focus on my shoulders and upper back in this position. So let's go ahead and go up onto our fingertips like we're about to play the piano, or you've got something like a cupcake underneath your hand. You're going to try your best to melt your forehead to the ground. You'll start to test out the mobility in your upper back throughout your shoulders to see if you're tight in your chest at all, if this is an attainable position to get your forehead down to the ground in. We'll just go ahead and move our hands out just about, about a handprint and head to that same position. Good, so we're opening up throughout our upper back a little bit more. You might start to feel those lats turn on a bit. Excellent work, team. We'll go ahead and come up onto all fours. We'll tuck our toes and head into downward facing dog. We'll go ahead and reach those hips up towards the sky. Push your head through your biceps. Feel free to pedal out those feet if you need to. Really, we're just trying to find some length here. So I like to go all the way up on my tippy toes. Try your best to get your booty as high as possible by lifting up throughout your hips and pushing your head back throughout your shoulders. And then from there, keep your hips where they are and melt your heels to the ground. That'll help us find some extra length there in our upper spot, or our lower back mostly. In throughout our glutes, throughout our hamstrings. I feel it in my calves because I went for a run yesterday. I'm feeling real bad in my calves. And then when we're ready for it, guys, you're going to go ahead and lift that right foot up towards the sky. We'll go ahead and take a bend at the knee and open up. A little hip opener here. Good. So feel free to move your chest with you as well. I like to kind of open up to the side. And then when you're ready, we'll switch it on out. Keeping that lift nice and high, bending at the knee, opening up. I like to move that chest open. I know that's not the right specific yoga pose, but it feels good. Excellent job, guys. And we'll come back into our downward facing dog. And you're gonna go ahead and take your right foot, lift it up. You're gonna bring your right knee on the outside of your right wrist. Right knee on the outside of your right wrist. We'll take a little pigeon pose. Whoa, wild hairs. Good, and so if we're feeling good here, again, the goal is to try our best to get our heel as far away from that opposite hip flexor as possible. We're really trying to go for almost like a figure four position where it's even, although that's quite impossible since a lot of us are very tight in the hips. But try your best not to get that heel very close. That's not going to do too much for you. The goal is further out. So if you do have a block or something, it is good to lift that back leg. You might put that underneath, say, your whatever this is, left leg. That'll help you kind of hit that square position a bit more. But if you're feeling good, we can go ahead and come down onto our forearms if you'd like. Kind of start to deepen the stretch throughout the outer glute and throughout the hips. Excellent, team. And we'll go ahead and come back up onto our hands. We'll tuck our back toes and we'll go ahead and switch it out. I like to come into pigeon pose from downward facing dog because I'm gonna get a little bit more length. So by picking up that left foot and driving that knee onto the outside of the elbow, I'm gonna already set myself up for success to put my hips in a squared position. Good, so again, we'll check in on this foot. We'll notice on if it's a little bit too close to that hip flexor, if we can drive it out a little bit more. Good, you got pretty good hip mobility, Rick.
Oh yeah?
That's great. Mine's bad on this side.
Yeah, my left hip.
Left hips are the worst. Y'all can just go on through it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. Yeah. Hello. Great, guys. Excellent. And then let's go ahead and come on down to our elbows so that way we even out those sides. And again, we're focusing on squaring off those hips. This one should feel pretty good. And when you're ready for it, guys, we'll go ahead and just shift onto that hip, that outer hip, and we'll swing our legs around into a seated position. Good, let's get in throughout those hamstrings. So legs are gonna go out in front of us. We'll go ahead and first and foremost move the fleshy parts of your glutes out of the way, right? We really just want the sit bones on the ground. That's gonna help us create some more length in our hamstrings and just move the glutes out of the way. From there, we'll go ahead and hinge at those hips, reach forward out towards those toes. Maybe it's your ankles or your calves that you're reaching towards, that's fine. Whatever that looks like. We'll kind of create some length there. And we'll take about 3 deep breaths. So on each exhale, you're trying your best to fold down a little bit further. So big inhale through the nose, and then big exhale, fold in a little bit further. Good, and if you're feeling this in tightness in your low back, I challenge you to back off on the length and the reaching and to, again, just move those glutes out of the way to create some more space. We don't want to add any compression into the lower back, especially with people with low back injuries. A forward fold position is sometimes not the best thing for you. That's more of just for your hamstrings. So that sometimes adds a little bit more compression. So in that case, you're gonna focus more on that hinge position. So if I'm just kind of working on hinging and not getting it throughout my low back, my mobility might be more like here. Toodaloo. Excellent, team. And when you're ready for it, we'll come right back up to a seated position. I'm going to take you through a double pigeon, which is another one y'all should be working on, and it should feel pretty good. So basically, you're going into what would look like a cross-legged position, but you're going to take your top foot and get your, so right ankle is on top of your left knee. Good, so then you're gonna try to sit forward, so that way we have that weight. Again, you want your knee and ankles in the same position. Awesome hip mobility, Rick. Good, yeah, this is great. Look at the, so you wanna be closer to Rick. This is like, you know, I've got like a foot to go. You don't have a foot, you look great.
Are you like?
The goal is to get, yeah, I am. The goal is to try to get your knee like onto your foot.
Oh yeah. I mean, it feels really good.
Yeah, it should feel really good on both hips, you know?
Yeah, this one.
Double pigeon. This is the pigeon pose that you're going for, right? The 90 degrees. In an active position. Yeah, these are tough. Ah, it feels so good. Hurts so great. Excellent, team. We'll go ahead and switch it out. We'll see if this other side's any better. Mine's going to be worse. Probably maybe yours will be worse too. We'll see. This one's trash.
Jesus.
That's good.
Oh, that's definitely noticeably different.
Isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Or even like just get here.
I know. It's uncomfortable for me too. I hate this side, but we got to do them both. And this is probably the one we need to start on, honestly. And if you take note of anything that you've noticed that your body's kind of worse on one side, maybe you need to start in that position first. And just, you know, keep correcting that form. Make sure that those knee or that ankle is right underneath your knee. Because you could also cheat, right? I could do something like this. I'm not going to get the same stretch as if my ankle is all the way out. So setting up that position. Excellent, team. And I feel like that's it. Is there anything else that we need to get through? Those, yeah, hips, hamstrings, quads, I feel like are always the best, and then chest and shoulders. So if you need anything else, let us know. I'm happy to do another, a little 10-minute video. If this was like helpful for you guys just to get some stretches in, let us know. That's all we got. Glasses girl, out.
Hell yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. The double pigeon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you can get really good at that pretty quick too.
Hell yeah.
If you start working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, well it's 3:10. What do I want to do with my life now? All right, hey, that was fun. Thank you. I
Yeah,
had fun
appreciate
with
you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's, yeah, for Stephanie and I, it's become like